Holy smokers, guys, we got another week. We got another city hit with ransomware. Riviera Beach has ransomware. They paid a $600,000 ransomware payment to recover their data. That's what we're going to be talking about today. So before we get into the nitty-gritty of this situation, I'm going to talk about what happened in this situation. We're going to talk about how this situation could have been prevented, and I'm going to give you my opinion on this situation. If you guys are involved in city council, or if you like to go to the city council meetings, or you're a mayor or something like that, stick around from the ending of this. I have some comments for you guys. So let's go ahead and get started. So here's the story of the situation from the NewYorkTimes.com. The Riviera Beach attack began on May 29th, 2019, after a police department employee opened an infected email attachment. The Palm Beach Post reported, down went all of the city's online systems, including email and some phones, as well as water utility pump stations. Utility payments cannot be accepted other than in person or by snail mail, and even then only by cash or check. Anything that was done online, we did not have access to. Ms. Brown said we were unable to make payroll and make vendor payments. On June 4th, the city announced authorized spending of more than $900,000 to buy computer hardware. The purchases had been planned for next year, but were moved up as a result of the attack. Ms. Brown said about a third of the cost will be covered by insurance. By the time the city council met in a little notice special hearing on Monday night, its information technology staff has managed to restore the Riviera Beach website and create new email addresses for all of the employees. Three-line online notice dated June 5th informed the public that the city had experienced
a security event.
One of the city councilmen on Monday asked Justin Williams, the IT technology manager for the city, if they could get the new email addresses posted online for the city council members. Mr. Williams said that the webmaster hoped to get that done soon. So yeah, that's kind of the situation there. Not included in the main article there is they paid $600,000 to pay the ransom to try to get the data back from the criminals. Just a little tidbit here, the city of Riviera is about 35,000 people. It's just north of Palm Beach. As of the date that the video was recorded, they're still working on restoring their systems. So we got another ransomware case. It seems like it's been happening every single week now. There's a new ransomware case. Last week or a couple of weeks before, we had talked about the city of Baltimore getting hit pretty hard. So what can we learn from this situation to help prevent these situations in the future? Well, in this specific situation, a police department employee opened an email that infected his computer and spread throughout the whole network, infecting it, apparently. So the number one thing is organizations need to make sure to have training set up for their employees to help prevent their employees from opening emails like this and infecting their organization. Number two, for the people watching this video, you really need to make sure that you're extra careful when you're opening email attachments and links and opening emails. Make sure that when you're clicking on a link in the email, you hover over the link first and make sure that link is actually going where it's saying. It's going to a site that you recognize. Make sure that the site isn't misspelled. If it's a site that you don't recognize and it's misspelled, either delete the email or contact the person that sent it in another method besides email, and make sure and say, hey, did you mean to send this? Is this legit? So that's the first thing. The second thing is, make sure you're not opening attachments that you're not expecting to get. You should verify with the person that you're getting. If it's something that you don't get all the time, that attachment is legit, and outside of email as well. And if you're getting an email from a person that looks suspicious, it probably is. You probably should contact them and make sure that it is legit. And if you're getting it, check the email line, the email address line too. Sometimes people will try to pretend like they're somebody, and they'll, like johndoe@gmail.com. You get a daily email from him, but you check out the email and it's actually johndoe1@gmail.com. Then that email is not actually coming from him. They're trying to pretend to be him to get you to click that link, to get you to click that attachment and affect your system. So you got to make sure that you check those things, and that in itself would have prevented, if an employee wouldn't have clicked on the email, if they wouldn't have clicked on the link or the attachment, that in itself would have prevented the situation. But at the same time, the company needs to do their part too. They need to give the employees the training. I'm not sure if they do or not, but then they also need to patch up their systems and make sure they're up to date. I can guarantee that there was a vulnerability that was out there that they didn't have patched, that allowed, when that guy's computer got infected, to infect all the other stuff that he was connected to. And that's why they had this ransomware situation. So those are some of the main things that could have been done to prevent this situation. My personal opinion on this, and I want to get back to the city council point that I talked about earlier. If you're part of city council, or you're a part of it, you're a part of the city government, you're the mayor, or you want to be an informed citizen and you're involved in meetings for the city government, one of the top things that city governments should be focusing on right now is protecting their IT infrastructure. We've seen enough along here. I've done probably 3 or 4 videos on ransomware incidents in the last 3 months, and it just seems to be becoming a week by week thing. And it's to the point now that city governments need to be putting priority on putting money into their IT infrastructure, to upgrade their infrastructure, to get a patching plan in place, to start pushing out employee training to all the employees, things like that. Otherwise, these situations are going to keep happening and happening and happening. And the city paid the ransomware, which, if you guys have watched any of my videos in the past, you know my stance on that. I absolutely hate it. I highly advise to never pay the ransomware, because you're just encouraging those attackers to keep coming back and sending more ransomware out to everybody. Don't pay the ransomware. If you're in a city council or you're in a city government, highly push back against paying the ransomware. Try to find any way that you can to not pay those people, because otherwise this stuff will just keep happening and encourages them to keep doing it. And then there's no guarantee that you'll get the data back. And how bad would that be if you go and pay the ransomware, or pay the ransom, and you don't get your data back? Then you lost all that money. But yeah, you really want to make sure that you're investing money into your IT, into your training, and patching and things like that, and backup systems. Make sure that you have a good backup system. Make sure you follow the 3-2-1 backup strategy. I have a video on this I'll tag up above here that you can look into if you're not sure what that is. Backups are the most key, critical piece of thing that you can have to fight against ransomware. If you have good backups, you can restore all your information. It might take a little bit of time, but you'll have all your information there, and then you don't have to pay that ransom. So that's what I think of this situation. I really hope that these ransomware incidents are going down, but unfortunately I think they're just going to keep going up and up and up and up and up, until we get to a critical breaking point where the federal government or somebody gets involved and says, hey, we need to stop this stuff. So, and you as citizens, and you as council members, and you part of the city government, you guys are a huge piece in preventing this stuff. So go out there, get involved in your meetings, push to get IT upgrades, to get training, all that stuff, so that we can hopefully help prevent this stuff from happening to other cities. Now, before you go and do anything else, make sure to smash that like button and press the subscribe button. I hope you guys enjoyed this content. Thank you for watching, guys, and have a great day.